there's something very important that you convey within the Revenant. And although we touch a lot on the spiritual aspects, there's a component that we leave out. And you know why? Because a lot of us as Black people get scared the minute we start talking about being highly calculating, being highly premeditated. But a dangerous man is premeditated to the letter. He's figuring out everything about you. One of my hobbies is out in the street is taking license plates. You know, as they're speeding past, it's how I keep my accuracy in my mind. I'll just read those plates and make sure that I get the whole thing, because I've learned to read the plate in a different way. And I apply that to people in the reading. So when you become completely premeditated, as I said, whether you're in a room with John Crow or doves, you're going to get the same outcome because you've read the room. You are premeditated. Now, when we start talking about this, your average Joe's going to start talking about societies, Illuminati and nonsense. All of that came from Africa, was co-opted by them, repackaged. We were scared from it. But imagine if you adopted these societies for yourself. If you have your own rooms where you can convey your highly premeditated nature and organize with men with a similar acumen to you, who are as spiritually adept as you. Just imagine what weapons that makes you collectively now. Forget about the 40 million, 50 million. Now let's just talk about the small seeds, because everything is a seed that needs to be nurtured, watered in order to germinate and then be actually impactful. You know, when an oak falls on you, this is after 100 years it crushes you, you know. Because if a 15-year-old oak falls on you, you're not going to do anything except sprain your shoulder. You're going to be fine. So we are now talking about us being at the 11th hour and it's 11:55. We don't have time. And outside of white supremacy as we look at it, let's start thinking about Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum now, where every billionaire who is highly premeditated, but more than premeditated and calculating, has all of the resources to execute the foundations of their mind. Now, we're still talking about silly shit? Is that where we're at? Are we still talking about a guy getting arrested because he was with a snow bunny and that girl tried to kill that actor's career? We know that. He's not the first. Gorgeous Dre would probably go and give this man some advice right now that's serving very well. But the point I'm making is, the more you attune the acumen to be highly premeditated when you come to a table, you could go into a negotiation and know exactly what you want and the number you're going to settle on. You go high, they go low, but you know exactly the outcome. And when I talk about this knowing, the more premeditated you become, the more in line with spirit you become, the more you hear your ancestors, because you can make yourself humble enough, because you don't need to overproject, the more of a dangerous man you become in any room, at any table. Because it's more than just seeing you and hearing you. When you're at that table, they will feel you, and they know we're just playing a game, but it's not child's play. And those white men that we perceive from a European perspective, when we still have our indoctrinated mind before we unlearn and relearn. But you see, when you unlearn and relearn and you pull back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz and you say, that's just the Wizard of Oz. He's nothing. Now I see how he projects. Now I see how he circumvents answering questions through flowery articulation. But I got him because I also have that flowery articulation. I'm more eloquent. I'm more audacious. I'm more bold because I'm a man and I've experienced certain things that were life-threatening. He's never been in that position. So I bring my whole experience and my whole mind. And I have no intimidation whatsoever. And if that man wants to get me out of the room, he doesn't pay me, so I haven't lost anything. You understand? So our role isn't to intimidate anybody. It's to make an impact that lasts. It's to get in rooms where we can hire people so that we can hire enough of our own people where that room starts to reflect our mind's eye. Think about that. Forget about this shit where we started and we would boast about how many girls we slept with, how many people we beat up, how many people are scared of us. That's going to find you in a cell, or it's just going to find you an old nigga outside of a betting shop with a sad story to tell. But when you actually master yourself based on that experience, and you have a real ambition now, and you have no fear, because your spirit enables you to know. And we were speaking before the broadcast started, and we're going to get into this knowing, which is what I really want to explore. The source of the knowing that is soul-centered knowing. Not the knowing like, I know I'm a black man. Knowing. Like the secondary activities to you. When you wake up and you're asleep and you brush your teeth and you go to the toilet and there's no accidents. Because you've done it so many times. So now, after you become premeditated, what do you think that secondary mindset of a premeditated man becomes like when he's in a room? What is it that you can't accomplish?